Well, it's 86 days until May, and there are more cruise ships operating or planning to operate in U.S. waters during the initial phase of the framework for conditional sailing than ever before. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Cruise News Show. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news updates. I'm super stoked because, like I said in the intro, more ships than ever before and more ships with a green status. Is your favorite cruise ship on the list? We're going to go through all of them. But first, let's talk about some cruise news from around the world. Celebrity Cruise Lines have announced that they will be returning to Australia and New Zealand for the 2022-2023 cruise season. Starting in September of 2022, the Celebrity Eclipse will be offering 19 itineraries. Itineraries that range from 5 to 18 days, leaving from Auckland, leaving from Sydney, and offering a wide variety of experiences for passengers in New Zealand and in Australia. Often I think of Princess and P&O when I think of Australia. It's going to be interesting to see what happens as Celebrity returns to the mix. Celebrity really stepping it up here, offering great adventures, great itineraries, highlighting some of the best spots in Australia and New Zealand, and also the islands in the South Pacific. Have you sailed in Australia? Which cruise line were you on? Leave a comment below. Now, I mentioned Princess Cruise Line, and if you followed Lido Loca for any period of time, you know that one of my wife and I's favorite activities on the cruise ship is to test the fates. I just told Jenny before I started recording the show today that we may have to avoid Princess Cruise Lines. And she's like, why? I like Princess Cruise Lines. Why would we avoid Princess Cruise Lines? Well, there's a new story out that builds on an old story. The new story out is that Princess Cruise Lines will become the first cruise lines to offer sports betting at sea. That's right. You can take your fun and excitement of watching sports to the next level by having a little action on it. And let me tell you this, and I know from experience, you may not give two shakes about sports or sporting events, but if you got some of your money on the line, it becomes 1,000 times more interesting. You will pay attention to the outcome. Princess Cruise Lines on all of their medallion class cruise ships will have a sports book, sports betting, but it won't be in the casino. It will be in the palm of your hand. How about that? You might be sitting in the main dining room trying to enjoy your escargot, and you could be putting some action on the over-under on the next Premier League football game in the UK. And look, it doesn't stop at sports betting. On that Princess app, you can play poker, you can play the slots, you can play bingo, all from the comfort of your deck chair. So yeah, you don't have to drag yourself down to that smoky casino if you want to feel the rush of a little gambling action. The idea is pretty wild to me. Sitting in the atrium, listening to a string trio, all the while pushing the buttons, adding more charges to your shipboard account so you can play a slot machine in your hand. You got to be cautious. Keep your wits about you. Cruising's a business. They would love to separate you from your cash. And as consumers, we got to make sure that we hold on to it or spend it wisely. And so, caution. And let me take a moment to say this. There's a lot of things you can get into on a cruise ship. You can drink too much, you can eat too much, and you can gamble too much. All of those things have the potential to be taken too far. All of those things have the potential to be very addicting. All of those things have the potential to control your life. So I just mentioned that to say make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And look, I do go on Princess. Jay and I have a really good handle on how we gamble. We're very responsible that way. And so I don't see this being a big deal, but maybe for some it could be a challenge, but a lot of people will like the convenience. That's another question. What's the over under on whether or not people will gamble more with this level of convenience? So let's go from talking about something that could cost you lots of money to something that's going to cost you zero. Somebody mentioned the other day that new people in this YouTube environment may not realize that subscribing to a YouTube channel is free. Like over on Twitch, another platform, when you subscribe to a creator on Twitch, that usually comes with some sort of monetary exchange. Not the case when it comes to YouTube. So let me throw out the invite. If you like staying up to date on the cruise news, if you like being connected to this virtual cruising community, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these shows, and it's free. Thanks in advance. So like I said before, there are currently more ships operating in the United States or planning to operate in the United States during the initial phase of the framework for conditional sailing than any time before. So the way the CDC tracks this is through their program, Crew Disembarkation Through Commercial Travel. And this is a list that's updated every week. The most recent update came out yesterday, February the 2nd. And according to yesterday's update, a whopping 63 cruise ships are either operating in the United States or planning to operate in the United States during the initial phase of the framework for conditional sailing. 63 ships, and only one of them are in a red status. So this is big time. Now, what does it take to have a green status? There has to be no cases of COVID-19 on board the cruise ship for the last 28 days. If a cruise ship receives a ship-to-ship transfer of crew members, the crew members that are coming on board, they had to come off of a cruise ship that had no instances of COVID-19 or COVID-like illness for 28 days. If crew members embark from land, they had to go through an immediate 14-day quarantine. Then each cruise ship has to have a COVID response plan and a signed letter of attestation for commercial travel. So you got to jump through some hoops to be green. We've looked at this list before. There's always multiple cruise ships that are in the red, and so not this time. This list is updated weekly. This is a pile of cruise ships that are ready to go. Let's go through this exercise. I will go through the list, listen to see if the next cruise ship that you're going on is on the list, and do you have a cruise in May? Is your cruise ship on the list? Here we go. First up, the Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line, the Grand Classica on the list, a green status. Now we got 16 cruise ships from Carnival Cruise Line. They are the Carnival Breeze, the Carnival Conquest, the Carnival Dream, the Carnival Ecstasy, the Carnival Elation, the Carnival Freedom, the Carnival Glory, the Carnival Horizon, the Carnival Liberty, the Carnival Miracle, the Carnival Panorama, the Carnival Pride, the Carnival Sensation, the Carnival Sunrise, the Carnival Sunshine, and the Carnival Vista. Out of those 16 cruise ships for Carnival Cruise Line, there's one red. That is the Carnival Pride. Moving down to another Carnival Corporation cruise line, Holland America Line. 6 ships on the list. The Koningsdam, the New Amsterdam, the New Stadendam, the Noordam, the Western Dam, and the Zulderdam. 6 ships on the list, all green. Princess Cruise Line, 7 ships, the Caribbean Princess, the Coral Princess, the Emerald Princess, the Grand Princess, the Majestic Princess, the Royal Princess, and the Ruby Princess, all in a green status. Seabourn, 1 cruise ship, the Odyssey. Moving over to Disney Cruise Line, you've got the Disney Wonder, the Disney Dream, and the Disney Fantasy, all with green statuses. MSC Cruise Lines, 2 ships on the list, the Harmonia, the Meraviglia, both green. Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, 3 cruise ships, the Norwegian Gem, the Norwegian Jewel, and the Pride of America. Oceania Cruise Lines, 1 cruise ship, the Oceania Regatta, green status. Celebrity Cruise Lines with 7 cruise ships, Celebrity Apex, Celebrity Eclipse, Celebrity Edge, Celebrity Equinox, Celebrity Millennium, Celebrity Solstice, and the Celebrity Summit. 17 ships for Royal Caribbean International, the Adventures of the Seas, the Allure of the Seas, the Brilliance of the Seas, the Enchantment of the Seas, the Explorer of the Seas, Freedom of the Seas, Grandeur of the Seas, Harmony of the Seas, Independence of the Seas, Liberty of the Seas, the Mariner of the Seas, the Navigator of the Seas, Oasis of the Seas, the Rhapsody of the Seas, the Serenade of the Seas, Symphony of the Seas, and the Vision of the Seas. All 17 of Royal Caribbean International's cruise ships a green status on the CDC list. So add it all up, 63 cruise ships operating in the U.S. waters, planning to operate in U.S. waters, and 62 of the 63 cruise ships in a green status. That is better than any time before. It does show some progress that these cruise lines are getting the paperwork submitted, that they're demonstrating all of those conditions that we talked about to have a green status, working with the CDC. 86 days away from May. I don't know that this guarantees any kind of May cruising, but it does show that there is progress going forward on getting these cruise ships ready to sail in U.S. waters. Final question for the comments. Are any of these ships your next cruise? Our next cruise is on the Mardi Gras. It's not on this list, but it's not until October, so that's not a big deal. But we are on the Celebrity Edge in November. That is on the list. So I got a little bit of the warm and fuzzies. How about you? Leave a comment below. Thank you so much for watching the show today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please show your support by hitting the like button. This is Tony with Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.